Although we're still waiting for Hillary Clinton or the DNC to make some sort of formal recognition of the various memos that have been released by Guccifer 2, the hacker who allegedly broke into the DNC and found these memos, we are actually getting something. USUncut.com is reporting that there could well be a class action lawsuit. Beck Lee Trial Lawyers, which is a civil litigation firm that's based in Florida, is gathering together people for this class action lawsuit against the DNC, alleging that, amongst other things, these memos show a level of collaboration and coordination between the DNC and the Hillary Clinton campaign that shows that there has been a defrauding of the primary process. And the interesting twist, which I think is complicated, but it is interesting, is that, in effect, people donated to the campaign of Bernie Sanders believing that there was going to be some potential competitive primary there. And so some of the people signing on are saying that because the system has been rigged against Bernie Sanders, they were effectively defrauded out of the money because Bernie Sanders' campaign wasn't given a shot. Now, that's not the entirety of the argument, and Beck and Lee Trial Lawyers, they're making clear that because there are some troubles with that as an argument. I mean, political donations are not the same as purchasing a product. I have a feeling most judges would not be very receptive to that argument. But they do cite the other sorts of evidence that we've been talking about for a long time on the Young Turks and on this channel as well, having to do with the debate schedule, which was clearly set up in a way that was designed to limit the exposure of Hillary Clinton and to take away any opportunity that Bernie Sanders would have to demonstrate his clearly more progressive agenda. That's why the debates were so limited and so sparse and put on weekends when fewer people would be watching. And of course, there are a number of other instances of voter fraud that, if this does actually end up going to trial, they can reference some of the things that happened in New York. I know a lot of people have concerns about California. I believe that in the end, the California votes will be entirely counted, but we are still waiting for some of them, and it's getting on a long time since the actual voting happened there. Now, there's a section of the bylaws of the charter of the Democratic Party that they're specifically referencing here that they think is going to allow them to have a case. And so they say, in the conduct and management of the affairs, this is from the bylaws, and procedures of the DNC, particularly as they apply to the preparation and conduct of the presidential nominating process, the chairperson shall exercise impartiality and even-handedness as between the presidential candidates and campaigns. The chairperson shall be responsible for ensuring that the national officers and staff of the DNC maintain impartiality and even-handedness during the Democratic Party presidential nominating process. Which is interesting, and I think a lot of people watching this video are probably going to hear that and say, well, they have clearly not done that. And I believe that they have clearly not done that. I believe that Debbie Wasserman Schultz has been behind the scenes manipulating things to benefit Hillary Clinton since long before any of us had ever heard the word Guccifer. The trouble is convincing a judge of it. And so, look, I think, you know that I consider myself to be a major skeptic. I am not someone who believes things that look really good. I want firm evidence. I want proof as much as possible that things are true. And there still remain the possibility that the Guccifer leaks are not what they seem to be. Right now, it's an anonymous hacker online. Now, the continuing lack of response from the DNC, combined with the information found in the memos, implies to me that they're probably authentic. And personally, I think that if you're going to make a case that there was collaboration, I don't think that those memos are the most important part of it. But I understand that they want documentation and that they want a paper trail. The trouble with the particular information that's been released in those memos is that they show some of the workers, which in the second part of those bylaws that I read for you, you could see that if this is an employee of the DNC, and if it appears that they had been attempting to lay the groundwork for Hillary Clinton success in the primaries, that they're not maintaining impartiality. If they were to reveal that they had other sorts of documents for some of the other candidates, then that would be cover for them. I kind of doubt that they're going to have that. I don't think that they were preparing to defend Bernie Sanders. Now look, there have already been hundreds of people that have signed on with this class action lawsuit. Theoretically, far more could, and I think that there are certainly enough people who are engaged with the process, who understand what's been going on throughout this primary, and would be willing to take part in a class action lawsuit like this to try to have some sort of justice. And so I think if people want to sign on for that, I think that that is perfectly valid. I would love to have more court cases going through some of the evidence for both the institution side, manipulation of the primaries, and also checking in on as many claims of voter fraud as possible. Those things should exist. I think, again, I'm just keeping it real, I think it's unlikely that that would lead to Bernie Sanders being the nominee. I don't think that that would happen, and Bernie Sanders, based on his comments in his speech today, doesn't seem to think that that would happen. But anything is possible, and there is still time. And so if people can use the system like with these class action lawsuits, then I think that that's what they should do. That is fully playing within the rules, and I am a fan of it. And I wish them the best of luck in convincing a judge of what seems to many people to be abundantly clear and well documented.